Orders, sire.
I hear.
At your command.
I hear. For land and kin. State thy will. The law prevails. State thy will.
At your command. Orders, sire.
For land and kin. I hear. State thy will. Strike hard. I hear.
Orders, sire. At your command.
State thy will. Strike hard. Smite them. I hear. For land and kin.
Orders, sire. Cut them down! Cut them down!
State thy will.
Orders, sire. To me!
I hear. For land and kin. I hear. For land and kin. State thy will. The law prevails. For land and kin. I hear. Stand together. State thy will.
At your command. Cut them down! Cut them down! Orders, sire. Press the attack! For
I
honor!
hear. For land and kin. State thy will. State thy will. I hear. State thy will. State thy will. Strike hard.
Cut them down!
I hear. For land and kin. State thy will. I hear. Strike hard.
Orders, sire. Orders, sire.
I hear. State thy will. I hear. The law prevails. I hear. For land and kin.
Orders, sire. For honor! For honor! To me! Orders, sire.
hard. State thy will. Strike hard.
At your command. To me! At your command. Cut them down! At your command. To me! At your command.
State thy will. For land and kin. State thy will. For land and kin.
Orders, sire.
State thy will. Smite them. State thy will.